everyone. Welcome back to our new episode of Love All. It's been quite a weekend for the Belgian sporting world. Besides the fact that the Belgian Billie Jean King Cup team beat America, we also had a huge cycling race, which is called Paris-Roubaix. And we had Wout van Aert win it, a fellow Belgian, and just incredible. He's gone through so many ups and downs in his career, and this was one of the dreams that he had, and he was able to accomplish it. So an incredible. I feel like the whole of Belgium was in front of the TV or somewhere, in the French countryside on the side of the road to try and get a glimpse of the Belgian riders there. So really exciting. Big soccer game coming up tomorrow as well in the Champions League, which I'm excited to watch. Vincent Kompany, a friend of mine who coaches Bayern Munich now, was a really good former player and is playing in his home game against Real Madrid, and they won there 2-1. So exciting sporting events for the Belgians and a lot of soccer fans too. But I'm very excited with everything, and then we get to talk to Hanne Vandewinkel today, who was beat her first top 20 player in Iva Jovic during the Fed Cup, during the Billie Jean King Cup, I should say. So very, very excited to get the chance to talk to her and kind of get to know her a little bit better as well.
Yeah, Kim, you've taught me many things in our time working together, but I just want to say thank you so much for fully immersing me into Belgian sport
culture
and Belgium adjacent sports. I very much appreciate it. My horizons are being broadened. And speaking of, if you are watching us on the Served YouTube channel, we would love it so much if you could head over to our Love All YouTube channel and like and subscribe there as well. That would mean a ton to us. We would love it. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, as Kim mentioned, we have so much to look forward to today. We're actually going to start with our interview with our very special guest, Hanne Vandewinkel, but we also have a guest question today in our Belgian athlete theme of the week.
Okay.
You will not want to miss that, so stick around. We do have Henley's headlines and Kimformation coming up. Before we get to that, I do want to say a quick thank you to the people who have been listening and watching every week. I don't know if you've gotten this, Kim, but I've sort of been on the ground at tournaments over the past several weeks. People, no joke, have been like yelling at me down on the court from the bleachers saying like, we love the podcast.
Oh, nice.
I've had messages, shout out Chris Horton, Allison Black, like faithful listeners / viewers. And we just want to say thanks so much for the feedback and the support. It means a lot. And definitely when somebody says we love the podcast, like my reaction is that of like a 5-year-old, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much.
You walk a little straighter, like a little more proud.
Somebody listens to us.
So I started walking like on the boardwalk since a little bit longer now, and I've had people like women come up to me and they're like, "Oh, we love the podcast. Keep it going." Like,
no way.
So yeah. So it's really, really nice. Yeah.
That's really cool. So I think you all are gonna love our interview with Hanne to start things off. As Kim mentioned, Belgium upset the U.S. finalists last year. They have won Billie Jean King Cup more than any other team, 18 times. So it was a big upset, and Hanne got her first top 20 win. She's 21 years old. She's had an incredible season so far, just broke into the top 100 for the first time. She also is a medical student. We're going to talk more about that. But here is our interview with Hanne Vandewinkel.
Well, I am super excited. It's going to be a little weird for me, Blair, to speak English to a fellow Belgian countrywoman who had an incredible weekend last weekend playing. We talked about it last week on our episode with Carl Maas, and it was the 20th anniversary of Belgium playing against America in Ostende. So really nice to see Belgium beat America again. So Hanne, you were one of the stars of the weekend. So congratulations with the result. That was super exciting and emotional for me to witness it from across the ocean.
Yeah, thank you. It was a very special weekend. I remember when we walked in to the stadium for the first time, Kirsten reminded me of that she was playing there 20 years ago, and you guys beat the Americas, and she was saying in this weekend it's going to happen again. So her words
So
were
the
true.
energy was good. No lack of confidence.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah. Was that the mood when you guys were going into this? Did you guys have full belief that you could walk out the winners at the end of the weekend?
Yeah, I think so. After the tie, it's always easy to say, but I think everyone had the confidence and the belief that we could beat them. Also, Elise joining the team, we knew it would put some pressure on them as well, that they couldn't lose matches they shouldn't lose, because Elise can beat anyone in singles and in doubles. So yeah, we were confident. I was playing good. Everyone was feeling great. So I think we all had this belief that we could beat them, and that's also the attitude we took for the weekend.
And you mentioned Kirsten before for the listeners. Kirsten Flipkens, who was a former player, semi-finalist at Wimbledon, a childhood friend of mine, is now joined Hanne with her team that she's been working with for a long time. I think since the preseason, right? Like in the off season where you guys started.
Already a bit in the summer, last summer. We started, and then from preseason on, it's a bit more. So
she's
intense,
not the captain, but like one of the assistant coaches, I would say, on the Fed Cup team. And so explain to me a little bit like the impact of having somebody like her on your team, like how that has been, as having a former player who's gone through the ups and the downs and knows kind of the stage where you're at now, like what that how has her impact been for you?
Yeah, I think like you said, I'm working already a long time with the same team, which I feel really good with. But we always said that if I would get to a point where I would be close to top 100, it would be very good for me to have an ex-player in my team, because it's always different to have the opinion of someone who has felt the emotions on court, who knows how it is to play there, to play for the first time. For example, now at home to start a Fed Cup tie or Billie Jean King Cup tie. For me, it's all new. The other coaches in my team, they didn't know how it would feel like or what I would think at that moment. And for her, she went through all these emotions, through all these feelings. So I think it's a big added value to my team, just in what I should do in certain moments or how I should handle pressure or new things. And I think, it's working really well.
Yeah, I think she's also somebody who, Blair, for for 15 years of her career, she's kept like a summary of like each match of like her opponents and like has written down like things that she felt. Like she has books of like always now everything is like AI, like technology, and so she's always been very tactical, and she was the type of player, and I think we saw that a little bit in her match against Iva Jovic, where the slice was coming out real nice. So that was incredible tactics, and it really worked. So
it's not only the experience; it's also a bit tactical. I play a bit like she did, also using the slice and having to make my opponent play bad, not just winning it by having big strokes, because a lot of players have good strokes nowadays on tour. So I think I have to do it in a bit of a different way, and she also did it like that in her career. And I think that's something that is helping me a lot with knowing what shots to play, and not always just hitting hard, but making the opponent play bad. And it's what we saw this weekend as well.
Yeah, so there was the tactical side of things, obviously, but having worked several Billie Jean King Cups for the U.S. team or at the host sites in the U.S., I've heard from so many players that the nerves are maybe slightly different when you're playing for your country. Did you feel that as well, and how did you manage that?
Yeah, I definitely felt the nerves. It was the first time I was playing at home. Also, the first time I had to start. All the other times I could watch a bit. I like to watch a bit how the atmosphere is, then how the court plays and how everyone is behaving. But this time I had to start, so we knew it the day before. They said that you could see it on my face that I was a bit disappointed that I had to start, but I think luckily we had some time to prepare, and I went 20 minutes before the match with Kirsten to the court already. There were a lot of people in the crowd, and we just stood there for a few minutes. We talked a bit, and she just told me to enjoy the moment, that this is what we all been working hard for. And I went back, I warmed up, and then we had to come on court, which is always also a bit of a special moment. They played the national anthem, it always gives me goosebumps, and I think everyone a bit. So I try to not let too many emotions come to me and just try to think about the match and not really about the moments. And I started off a bit nervous, but then after a few games, I came loose a bit.
Yeah, never forget the opponents feel the same way a lot of times too, but it was great to see you just start off well. And what was it like? Like, I know Wim mentioned, I think in one of the interviews, I don't know where I saw it on social media or on one of the Belgian papers, that it was kind of a surprise to see Kessler start, and that they had anticipated Haley Baptiste, and that his mindset was kind of a little bit, on watching films of Haley, and then the surprise of having Kessler kind of show up and play a really good match up until she got injured against Elise Mertens.
I think that's a job for the coaches to watch all the players and the tactics. I think we all expected Baptiste to play, especially because it was on clay. We all thought that she would feel a bit more natural on clay than Kessler does. But luckily, the day before, it's not that they changed it 10 minutes before the matches started, so everyone could prepare and watch videos. Elise played her twice, so she also knew what to expect. And we just prepared very good. We all had a clear plan, and I think especially Kessler, she was playing an amazing match. It's very unfortunate for her to see it end this way, because I think she was playing unbelievable.
Explain, Hanne, a little bit to the non-Belgians what an amazing weekend Belgium had this last in the sporting world. You received a video from our national cycling hero Wout van Aert, who just won Paris-Roubaix, big cycling race, and just explain that a little bit. Like, what was the surprise? Like, how long? I know you've watched cycling and you were a big fan of his. Like, what was that impact for you?
Yeah, in Belgium, cycling is very big, and I'm a very big fan of Wout van Aert. He's for me just an inspiring person. The way he handles everything and the way he comes back from setbacks. So he was always a bit a hero of me. I once had a meet and greet with him. It was, I think, about 3 years ago, which didn't really went smooth, I would say. I was starstruck and I couldn't say a word anymore. So the only thing I remember, or I don't even remember anything about it, I just still have the picture of me standing next to him, and it was on my lock screen for, I think, 2 years. Now you can imagine a bit how big of a fan I am.
Well, you felt his aura in your energy field.
yeah, definitely. With the press and everything last week, they all knew, and so I talked a bit to them, and then I think Kirsten had the idea to ask him to do a video for me, and then I did my warm up before the match, or my tennis warm up, and then we had 2 hours to kill, I think, before the matches would start. And she said, "Can you come sit next to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And she said, "How are you feeling?" And I was like, "I'm okay." And then she grabs her phone and she shows me the video, and I didn't know it was coming. I was not prepared for this. There are cameras on me, and I was just I couldn't believe that he did this for me 2 days before one of the most important races for him. And I think it really motivated me on court. I was also thinking, like, just be like him, just go for it, and you cannot blame yourself if you give 100%. And I helped him. Maybe I motivated him a little bit.
I'm sure.
Because he won Paris-Roubaix. I was watching with my grandma, and we both had tears in our eyes. So it was a nice moment.
I'm trying to bring the cycling passion here in America to people, and they're like, "What are you talking about? Like, riding a bike?" I'm like, "Guys, you don't get it. Like, the whole of Belgium is in front of the TV like Sunday afternoon, like, and that's all that counts for that day."
Yeah, it's in Belgium. It's so big, and I was here with my family, and they wanted to go shopping. So I was like, "Okay, it's still 100 kilometers to go. We can go shopping," but I couldn't focus on shopping. I was constantly watching the live streams, and it was not working in the shop. So I said, "Sorry, family, but I really have to go watch." And then I watched with my grandma for the last 70 kilometers, and it was I don't regret coming back to watch
No,
it.
not at all. Hanne, you've had some kind of big milestones, I feel like, these last, few weeks, couple of months in your career now that you've, made it to the top 100. First time making the main draw of the Grand Slams is going to be at the French Open for you this year. Explain to me a little bit, like we had a couple of conversations, like the some of the choices, right, that you have to start making when you're in this position. Like, do I go for tournaments? How do you decide on certain schedule choices and everything like that? Because it's at times like things just work out, but it was really incredible to see like how you've just been taking strides and just getting step by step, moving forward. So explain to me a little bit the process, how that felt for you these last few months.
Yeah, I think I've never been the player that takes very big steps at a time. It always are small steps, and then I go higher in the rankings, but it's never goes really fast. I was always going step by step, and the last few months it's been a bit crazy for me as well. I didn't think I expected it to come so fast this year. I think it was one of the goals to maybe be top 100 by the end of the year. But yeah, the main goal was just to play on a higher level, to play bigger tournaments and to play against better opponents, to develop my own game. So to do it this early in the year is a bit of a surprise for me as well. I think, everything is also new for me. That's also why I think that someone like Kirsten can help me also with the scheduling part. What I should do now, should I only play big tournaments, but I also still want a lot of matches. So it's a bit of a balanced thing to do, to have still a lot of matches, but also to play against the better players in the bigger tournaments. So it's new for me. It's new for my team to do this, but it's a good problem to have. It's something I always dreamt of.
Yeah.
Not gonna complain about these things. I'm leaving for the Master 1000 in Madrid at the end of the week. It's a bit crazy for me to think that I'm gonna play all these tournaments I watched as a kid, and to go there now and to be able to play on those courts. It's something I always dreamt of, and to play my first main draw will also be something very special. So there is a lot happening now at the moment, I feel like. That's why I also try to sometimes take a step back and enjoy a bit what I've accomplished already. But yeah, it's been a crazy few months.
Who are you looking forward to the most of like meeting when you go to the French Open this year, or maybe in Madrid already, or seeing whose practice do you want to go watch? Like, I remember mine very well when I played my first Wimbledon, but who are you excited to go see, male or female?
Oh, then I think it's Carlos Alcaraz for me. I don't really have players that I really look up to, in the way of I would be as starstruck as I was with Wout van Aert, but I cannot wait to see them all practice and to see them also in the gym and off court, to see how they handle everything. I think there's a lot to learn of. So yeah, just this one I'm looking forward to, being around all these top players and see how they deal with things and how they practice. And yeah, I think I can learn a lot.
Carl Maas back last week, he was one of my, he was with me when I played my first Grand Slam, and he told me in my first year, he's like, every tournament, every main draw that you play now, you're just going to absorb everything, right? It's about learning the emotions, learning the routines, going to watch other players, looking at like, how are they preparing themselves? What recovery are they doing? And you learn so much just by being in that environment and having an open mind. So I'm excited for you. It's a very fun process that you're starting. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to all these tournaments and to see all these players.
You look at the last few months, you won back-to-back-to-back ITFs, reached the final of another. Is there something tactically or something technically maybe that has come together for you that you can specifically see, okay, this thing I was working on, I'm now seeing the fruits of my labor? I don't know how specific you can be, because obviously we don't want you to give away your secrets, but is there anything that you are thinking like, yes, that's clicking for me now?
I don't think there are secrets for me, and I also don't think it's really technical or tactical for me. I think it's more mentally. I've made some big steps the last year, I would say. It was with ups and downs. But I just feel like it's clicking now. It's all falling into place. And I think, I just feel like when I'm mentally there, I'm a much better player than I am when I'm mentally a bit all over the place. And I think that's just what's happening. I think the belief is there more. I felt that I can beat good players when I'm mentally 100%, when I'm playing good. And I think that's just what changed. And I feel like when I'm there, I can be tough to beat because I don't make a lot of mistakes. I can make my opponent play bad, and they don't feel like they can play their own game when they play against me. And it's just very important for me to be there and to stay there every point, to be clear enough in my head to think about these tactics. And I think that's what changed the most over the last few months. And it's really helping a lot.
It really showed to me in your match against Jovic, like the confidence that you showed out there, right? And it's did you feel at a certain moment during that match that you felt like, oh, I don't care that she's top 15 or top 20, like I can actually I'm managing this, like did you ever have a moment like that where you felt like, oh, okay, there's not that big of a gap like between the top 20 and where you're at right now?
Yeah, definitely. I try to go on court with the feeling that I could beat her. When I play a good match, I can beat her because uh, before I sometimes went on court with a bit too much respect for my opponents, thinking that they're better than me and I can play a good match, but I maybe cannot beat them. So I try to go on court with, I'm just going to give it 100%. And if I play good, she's not going to like my game. We're playing on a slow clay court, which she doesn't like. I can slice a lot, which she doesn't like. I can mix it up. So I try to go on court like this. And while I was playing, I was, I think, at 3-all in the first set or 4-all, and I had a few break points. I had one break point. I was 30 love up in the first game. I felt like, damn, it's 4-all, but I feel like I can really win this set. I feel like I had chances. My service games are going a bit easier than hers. Maybe if this or this happened, I could be leading. So I try to say to myself, believe in it. It can really, you can do this. And then I started to play better and better from the moment I felt like I can beat her. This is a game she's not liking. I just have to have confidence in myself, and then I started to play better and better, and the result was there.
I have a slice question for you, because when you broke into the top 100, I was on your Instagram profile and you posted this carousel of pictures from when you were so little. And one of them, I don't know how old you were, maybe, less than 10, it looked like. And you're just out there chopping slices on the practice court. So that, to me, I feel like is sometimes a shot that players mix in when they get a little bit older. They start to maybe learn how to integrate that. You clearly, that was something that you started to develop early on. Was there a coach in your life that led you down that path? Because it's so effective when used well.
Yeah, for this thing, my parents, they don't really know a lot about tennis, but my dad always said that I don't care what you do with her on practice, but I want her to have a good slice. And then it's something, we always paid attention to. We always did it 5 or 10 minutes each practice. And I think it's important to develop it at a young age. I feel like I can do so many different things with it just because I hit so many slices already in my life. I definitely have to give some credits to my coaches back in the days, but also to my dad.
Blair, so a funny little connection too is, so when I was younger and kind of started my first private lessons and group sessions was in Genk with Bart van Kerkhoven. And so the coach that she worked with for a long time and is still part of her team, Dries, is kind of took over that tennis school.
No way.
So there's like that connection too. And again, like I always say this, Hanne, like talk about like how important it is to, from a young age have coaches who are passionate obviously about tennis, but also know how to teach kids the technical side. And that's why, like, you can see, yes, you're always going to have to tweak, some shots and tweak and change a little bit on the serve or whatever it is, but the foundation is set when you're young, and it's really hard, when you're older to make big changes. So it's so important. And I feel like Europe, and especially in Belgium, like we do a really good job with, teaching the kids how to play the right way when it comes to the technique early on. So good job for your dad, but also really good job on the team that you've always worked with.
I feel like we got a little piece of maybe how your brain works watching you sort of work Iva Jovic around the court, but there's a whole other side of how your brain works off the court. And
Something
I
I've
have
never
about 75
experienced.
questions. You are a second-year student of medicine at the University of Leuven. I'm probably saying it incorrect. Did I get it right, Kim?
Yeah.
And I mean, how are you managing being a medical student and being a top 100 tennis player?
Yeah, it's been tough at times. I think this year I've really focused more on tennis. I'm doing less credits, it's called in Dutch. It's less subjects a year. I think now I just do one subject per semester, and it's going good like this. But before I did, yeah, half a year in 1 year. So I did a lot of credits, a lot of subjects, a lot of studying, and it was at times tough. But I think it also helped me a lot. I was never the player that they said like, oh, she's for sure gonna be a top 100 player or a very good player. I always, was a bit at the background, and I liked it there. It didn't bother me that the spotlights were never on me. But I also didn't like to put a lot of pressure on tennis when I was younger. I also like to have the idea of having a plan B as well. Some people say you shouldn't have a plan B, but for me it really helped to sometimes when I'm not on court to also don't have time to think about tennis. I'm a bit of a thinker, and sometimes I could lose myself a bit in thinking about tennis and what I should do better, should do more, or what went wrong in certain matches or practices. So I think it's been good for me to really have the ability to change focus a bit and to, okay, when I'm studying, and I have goals in studying as well. I have exams in 2 weeks, and I have to study now. I don't have time to think about other things, and it's also something I find really interesting to study the medicine. So yeah, for me it has really helped, and I think it's been the right moment now to say now we're doing less, we're focusing more on tennis. To when we are resting, you can also rest, and you don't have to sit on a chair for 9 hours in the weekends.
So, did you study in Ostende during the tie?
No. Since this year, I have a golden rule, and on tournaments, I'm trying to not study too much now.
Okay,
So
all right.
no, I had time to focus on the job.
I wish I could relate.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so how many more years of school? Obviously, you're sort of doing it at your own pace, but what's the goal? When should you be finished by?
Oh, I don't really have a goal on this part. It's just when I feel like I want to study more, I can always do more again. If I feel like no, this year I don't want to study at all. It's too tough. It's combining it with tennis. I can also do that. I'm flexible in it. It's just something that maybe after my career, there are so many years to, hopefully so many years to come. So I think then I would really like to become a doctor as well, and it's something I would also love to be a doctor and to help people. So I think when I can do as many things as I do now, and as many subjects and credits as I want to do now, and then the rest I can finish after my career, and still live the life of a normal doctor maybe one day.
What kind of medicine?
It's tough. I don't really know yet. It's 6 years of basic medicine in Belgium, and then you can specialize into something. I always said I wanted to become a sports doctor, but maybe it's a bit boring. I like a bit of action as well, so we'll see. Maybe after my career, I'll just work 3 days a week and just see normal people. But we'll see what happens.
Get this girl to an emergency room. This is why you're a good athlete.
Cool under pressure.
No joke.
Yeah. The tennis experience would help in an emergency room, but we'll see.
You were doing, and I've seen other players do this, and I always wanted to ask about it and know more about it. You were doing eye training where sometimes one eye is covered, sometimes it looked like you actually had both eyes covered for a minute. Can you explain
That's
how
called
this
meditation, Blair.
I'm like, wait, how does this work? Does she have a sixth sense for where the balls are? I don't know. But as someone who's clearly never done eye training, can you explain what that is and how often you do it and how it helps?
Yeah, it's something we started doing about 3 years ago, maybe, when it was not that popular yet. So credits to my fitness coach for already knowing what to do. But yeah, it's something we cover the dominant eye. So you do the test, which eye is your dominant eye, and then we cover it to make the other one work better. We try to catch tennis balls or to look at things and to zoom in, zoom out to make the eye work better, because it's most of the times the dominant eye that is doing the most work. So just to take that one away and to make the other one do all the work. And it can be better to seeing balls earlier, to being able to focus a bit more on just one specific thing, and it's working well for me. So I'm gonna continue doing it.
So you've noticed a difference?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. We do it a lot in the fitness session before tennis as well, and I like the feeling of being able to focus more on the tennis ball. I don't know how I can describe the feeling of it. You should try one day and then let me know how you felt.
I think I still have them here somewhere. I gotta find them. But I used to I had these glasses that they looked like they were fully covered, but they had like little holes in them, and that's how I had to like practice the return. So like you have to really like try to, I don't know, your focus just gets a lot more intense, and you look at details that you can pick up from the toss, whatever it is. Like you just, your brain just gets triggered differently. And yeah, it's I'll see if I can find them somewhere.
I mean, that's for show and tell next week, Kim. That's really cool.
But Hanne, it's not the serve that you did, right? You did a serve blindfolded. I saw something like that.
Yeah, don't ask about that. It looked really bad. I tried it would look better, but it didn't.
I guess it was like a social media thing, Blair, that they asked the players to serve blindfolded, and yeah.
I didn't touch the ball, in case you wanted to know.
A lot harder than it sounds.
I gathered it didn't go well.
No, it didn't.
Hanne, quick questions that we are where we just don't, first thoughts, just shoot them at us. What is your most used phone app?
Instagram.
If you weren't a tennis player, what would you be if it weren't a doctor?
Oof.
A cyclist.
What would I be? No, my parents wouldn't let me. I would like to be one, but my parents think it's too dangerous.
Well, listen, I'm sure Kirsten will take you out on the bike once in a while for some training.
Yeah, if you can follow me, we go for a ride.
I like that. Good. What was your first meal after when you were with your friends? Your go-to, like,
I went for
frietjes,
frietjes, the most Belgian meal you can imagine. Frietjes
Blair,
from the frituur.
When you come to Belgium, I have to take you to a Belgian fry store. My favorite one is in Antwerp.
Okay.
But yeah.
Between
I've actually
that
thought
and like
about opening
meat.
A frituur. Yeah, Carl with the... Karel had aan de coach, Zina Garrison, filet américain gegeven. Tijdens de... en daar een heel verhaal rond... Yeah, sorry, I'm talking in Flemish, but...
No, yeah, go for
it. He explained the whole story about, how Belgians have filet américain and whatever.
But the frituur is unbeatable.
Yes, there's nothing like it. There's not one fries, whatever, store here that I've tried that will come close to it. So I've actually thought about opening my own here for selfish reasons, but we'll see if that ever... It's only a thought so far in my head.
Would be very nice.
It would be nice, but not the most healthy probably, but anyway. What is the best advice that you have received?
There is a quote of a coach of Kimmer Koppejans, a Belgian guy as well, who said, "It's better to die on your feet than to live on your knees." And it's something that sticks with me on a tennis court as well, because I have the tendency to sometimes take a step back and to not play my game anymore. It's something I try to remember, and I try to say to myself, it's better to just go for it than to push the ball back in the court and to let the opponent play.
Yeah.
That gave me like chills for a minute, Hanne. I'm like, what? Let's go run through a brick wall today.
Yeah, right. It motivates you, right?
Right,
for sure.
It's something I was thinking about during the Billie Jean King Cup match as well. I was just it's better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. If you go for it, no one can blame you, and you cannot blame yourself. So yeah, it's something that always is on my mind.
Could be on a t-shirt, Blair.
Our merch store, we've got a long list, Hanne, of things to go in our merch store whenever we open it. Favorite thing to do to take your mind off tennis other than studying?
Spending time with friends or going for a bike ride with my dad.
What day of your life, if you can choose, would you relive?
Oh, I would choose the last Friday, maybe. It's it's a bit cliche to say it that way,
not at all.
For me, it's been the most beautiful day on a tennis court, or maybe in my life, to just play at home and to feel this energy what you've been working for so many years, and going on court there as a top 100 player was maybe the best feeling I've had already.
Have you noticed any any change in like when you started after the tie, like, and you're walking, people are like congratulating you more, and like just like that energy of people that since the news is all fresh, have you noticed like a big difference?
Yeah, there has been a big difference. I feel like I had so many attention this weekend and so many kids asking for an autograph, and I was thinking, well, what are you gonna do with my autograph? Go ask Jovic for one. I mean, so it's new for me. It's very special that people really are running behind you to ask for a picture or an autograph. It's not something I'm used to, so I like it. I definitely like it, but it was a bit surprising in the beginning, to have so much attention.
It is. It's a new phase that you're entering, right? Like, but exciting.
I think maybe this might be a good one to end on, unless Kim has any others. But 3 words to describe your personality.
Enthusiastic, I would say, for sure. Positive. And motivated, maybe.
Maybe driven, right?
Driven.
It's a good one.
Those are good.
Very.
Especially because I'm like I'm like naturally not an optimist, but you just like ooze, sort of, you radiate the positive side of things, which I think is so important, because professional tennis can be so lonely and so hard, and as high as the mountain can be, the valleys can be real low. And so to have that mentality, I would assume, would be helpful.
Yeah, I think it's especially on court, it's one of my biggest working points to stay positive as well. But off court, or from the moment I finish a match, I'm always very positive. I can look at the bright side, and I'm never in a bad mood, or I wake up and I'm in a bad mood. It doesn't really happen. So I just enjoy also the life that I'm having. It's something I've always dreamt of. So I just have to enjoy it. And okay, there is maybe some pressure and some new pressure and some new things I will experience and some tough moments. But it's the life I dreamt of since I was 5 years old. So I'm trying to just enjoy every moment and to appreciate how far I've come already.
Yes, amazing. Pressure is a good thing to have, because it means that people actually think you're a good player and see that you're capable of, doing good things. So look at it that way, without like having it, have the negative impact at times that word gets.
Yeah. That's
all right.
true.
Well, Hanne, thank you so much. I know you're taking some time away from hanging out with your friends and being, I don't know if the weather's good at home, but
it's very good. It's very good.
Right,
but it was an honor to be here. So
thank you. Well, we appreciate it. Congrats again. And we're super excited to see what you're up to these next few weeks, and to watch the results. And we're cheering for you.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was so much fun. I can't believe she is 21 years old. What a just bright, wise, insightful, and just has a really unique attitude, I feel like.
Definitely. I loved listening to her stories about studying, when she's on the road and everything. It's something I cannot relate to. I tried for a little bit when I was 16 years old, and really quickly decided to put my books aside and just focus on tennis. I did not have the discipline to do that. Probably didn't have the brain cells to do that either. But really great to see. And when you talk to her, you can see that she's probably a lot further ahead than a lot of 21-year-olds. But also great to see, like, when you can see that she's a thinker out there, right? And a lot of times she talks about being positive, and that's something I think that she's really has to focus on in stressful moments, or when there's a little bit more pressure, is to not overthink things, because that can also kind of be a little bit of a paralyzer, I think, in the sport of tennis. So really excited. I can't wait to watch her, these next upcoming weeks. And she's actually going to play her first main draw of a Grand Slam at Roland Garros. So exciting times for her coming up, and really looking forward to watching her compete.
All right, shall we get into some headlines, Kim?
Yes,
Henley's headlines, if you will.
Yes.
All right, I'm just going to run through on the women's side. In Linz, Mirra Andreeva defeated Anastasia Potapova, newly minted Austrian, 1-6, 6-4, 6-3. That comes just 5 months after Potapova changed nationalities from Russian to Austrian. So the way that she described that, it reminded me a little bit of how Daria Kazatkina explained playing in Australia this year after changing her nationality to Australian, and just how special that was for her to reach the final there. So an incredible result there for both of those players. And then I just want to shout out Donna Vekic, who also reached the semis, and Gabby Rusa, who reached her first 500 semi. So just a lot of fun personalities who had a good week last week in Linz.
Definitely. And Andreeva, with the way that she was playing too, just a very, very mature tournament that she played. I feel like she was moving great. I think, she hits the ball hard, but also heavy. So on the clay court, definitely somebody who can really cause some damage. And so to see her kind of mentally, being positive and enjoying herself out there is good to see. And, somebody who I think can cause, some damage at the French Open.
Yeah, and also want to make note of another Austrian in Lily Tagger, who reached her first WTA. Well, it was certainly a 500 quarterfinal. I don't believe she's reached a WTA quarterfinal before that, but an incredible result for her as well on her home courts as a wild card. Francesca Schiavone, was she in the stands for this? Was she there?
Yeah, she was there. But it was, Francesca, a former, I think, 2010 Roland Garros winner. Obviously, a huge advantage to have somebody, we talked about it with Hanne today, to have somebody on your side, somebody in your team who you can reach out to, who you can talk to, who you can just kind of, pick their brain about going through these first time emotions and different tactical kind of setups against different opponents. So it's really, really nice to see. Francesca is an incredible person. I hope that we get to have her on the show in a few weeks, but we'll see. But anyway, it's Lily is a great player. One-handed backhand, has a lot of the variety, and so if we ever question if the one-handed backhand is still an advantage in today's,
alive.
Yes, it definitely is, and it can cause definitely. Some distraction for players, and kind of a shot that can break a lot of rhythm if she can kind of mix it up, like what Hanne did against Jovic during Fed Cup with the slices and then the one-handed backhand.
Yeah, so a feel-good tournament in Linz for sure. And then, of course, over in Monte Carlo, we had Sinner's 17, their 17th meeting. Sinner was, of course, the winner. He broke Alcaraz's 17-match winning streak on clay, extended his own win streak to 17. It's only the second time in 6 meetings on clay that Sinner has come out on top. And to me, that was... I'm curious what your takeaways were, Kim, but the fact that Sinner got the win on clay to get his biggest clay title, I thought was big, because if he can do what he's done on clay, or do what he's done on hard and on grass, on clay, it's a scary proposition. He and Novak Djokovic, and this was in 2015, are the only two men to win the first 3 ATP Masters 1000 titles of the season, which just makes your head want to explode. And of course, Jannik is the new number 1. And then Carlos Alcaraz went and watched Jannik jump off the diving board like the bestie.
The high diving board. It was pretty high.
It was. I like to think they were copying the Houston 250. I don't know. I'm just gonna say that. But it was just good vibes all around. Tough conditions, though, I think, in that final in terms of the tennis.
Yeah, the conditions were tough. It was very windy, but definitely people even like talk to me about it, and they're like, oh, it's kind of weird, to see, a rivalry that, where you do kind of feel like they're really good friends and that there's so much respect for each other. And I don't know how you feel about that, right? Because there's been so many rivalries where, the players like can't stand each other and try to stay away from each other as much as possible. And whereas with these guys, it's like they really embrace, and there's a lot of respect, but they also like enjoy like seeing, like this, like Alcaraz actually stayed and watch his, the winner, the guy that just beat him before, like jump off the diving board. And I don't know if I think I was always pretty good at, giving my opponent their moment. But it was also painful. And so to go see them celebrate is something that is hurtful at times as well. So, just kind of people are talking about, like, some people like that they have that. And then there's people that are like, no, I want the rivalry. And so what do you feel about that?
I was going to ask you what you feel about that. If it doesn't affect the tennis, I say, you do you. If that's your personality to have sort of, the more friendly side of things, right, and have the respect to be so evident, as long as it doesn't affect the tennis, I think it's great.
Right. I also think with Alcaraz, it's like there's an interesting phase, I feel like, in his career where he's not the newcomer that is having incredible results. And I don't know if it was Juan Carlos Ferrero that did an interview recently, but where he said, like, his biggest hurdle is going to be the fact that, he might get bored. And it is, right? It's an intense and it's a long season, and it's a lot of pressure to always have to compete and to put in the work day in, day out. And there's a lot of distractions, especially a guy like that who's super popular at every tournament that he goes to. So it will be interesting to see, if he can kind of stay focused and to stay consistent, because his tennis is more than good enough, and to beat everybody every day. But to mentally stay motivated is something that is not always, is a lot easier said than done, right? If your personality is to try new things and to enjoy that side of being famous and having all these athletes around the world reach out to you and want to come and watch you play, and it can also be a distraction. So interesting times, and but so fun with the French Open coming up to see who will hold that trophy. I'm already talking like it's going to be between the two of them, but we'll see. But a nice win for Jannik Sinner again, to what is it, Indian Wells, Miami, and now Monte Carlo.
Just unreal. I did chuckle on this topic of those two being such close friends. I was amused by the various social media memes and videos about how Sinner has more chemistry with Alcaraz than with his gorgeous model girlfriend who he hugged after the match. It was, and if you know Jannik's personality, he's not going to go in for a
big kiss,
a passionate hug and a kiss after a win on camera. Like, that's not happening. But when you juxtapose the two with sort of this stiff hug, and then they are just total buddies, him and Carlos. So that was amusing. And it did also shout out, and I'm going to forget the X user's name who posted this, but I sent the clip to Kim. It was a clip of Serena.
This is the player lounge. I don't like to hang out with all the other players. Not that I'm saying I'm better than everybody else, it's just that you don't see Pete and Andre hanging out.
I do love that Serena was like, I'm not saying I'm better than anyone else. But I think though she has in other ways said that she did feel that way, which was part of sort of her overall mindset, which again, you do you, whatever is going to help you perform your best. Would you agree, Kim?
Yeah, I guess that's at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is like whatever works for you. Like I was never somebody that felt comfortable ignoring people or not wanting to have anything to do with them or not letting them enjoy their win. Like there were times like when I lost to Justine, like I was heartbroken, and especially because I came so close to the holding the trophy at a big tournament. But like there were moments where I saw her hold the trophy and I was like, that's nice, like good for her. Like no, but it is like on the human side, right? You see that too. And but yeah, it's definitely rivalries in our sport have always been there, and between the biggest the biggest athletes in our sport. And these guys have a good on-court rivalry and their buddies off-court. So fun to see.
Mm-hmm. Also want to mention for those tennis nerds out there, obviously there were so many stats with that Alcaraz Sinner final in Monte Carlo. So many records, they have the ATP obviously keeps track of all of that. Everybody has access to that. You can just Google ATP Daily Media Notes and it will pop up and you can see all of the stats that the journalists get if you are on site at that event. So if you are someone who likes to look at that stuff, you have access to what the ATP puts out as well. So credit to their media department for doing a good job with that. Do you ever do that, Kim? Do you ever look up the media notes for fun?
Once in a while. They would actually...
Listen, you are like the super sleuth who's asking for media press conference transcript. So you never know.
But it started because they would get like the runner would be like, hey, they talked about you here. Do you want to read that? Like they printed them off back in the day. And so then I was like, hey, can I just get the, my next opponent's transcript?
Okay, moving on to Kim-formation. Kim, I need you to help me understand Valentin Vacherot, who at this time last year was ranked around 260 in the world, and he is now 17, which I do wonder if he knows, because if you were listening a few episodes ago, I did go to sort of mention to him his live ranking in a post-match interview. And he was like, I do not want to know. Do not tell me my live ranking. I do not like to pay attention to that. So does he know he's top 20 now? Unclear. But this is such a bonkers rise. And people who saw what he did in Shanghai as a qualifier, many thought like, well, dude, enjoy your 1 year in the top 50 because by Shanghai next year, you're going to be back 250 in the world. How does this happen? How do you have a rise like that? Can you help us understand?
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, it's a confidence thing. I think there's so many guys at that level that are really good tennis players, and they, he's physically strong. He has, good ground strokes. So I think the biggest thing that I can think of, or that I have experienced in my life, is just there's moments that set you up to become a better player and to be more confident. And there's places around the world where you just feel better as well, and they give you that boost to kind of work harder and to just be a better player. So I think it's all a confidence thing. He hasn't changed the technique. It's not like he changed tactics. Like I think he's working harder to just improve everything still. But I think it's a confidence thing. And there's moments that, and we talked about it with Hanne Vandewinkel. Like there's moments in your career where you feel like, oh, I'm playing this top 30 player, or I'm playing this top 20 player. I had Amanda Kutzer, who was, when I played my first Wimbledon, she was number 8 in the world. And in the warm-up, I'm already kind of like, oh, she doesn't hit the ball that much harder. She's consistent, but I think I can kind of do some damage here. And it's those kind of moments and the way that you talk to yourself and the way that you show, your kind of inner belief that make all the difference. And I think that's the stage where he's at. And the fact that he doesn't want to know what his ranking is just shows that he's not an analytical person, that he goes a lot on feeling and can say that it's his girlfriend who's, a great influence as well, and having that support system. And he seems to just enjoy like the life that he's living, and that his tennis has gotten, to a different level, and he's successful. And so really nice to see that energy shift as well.
Yeah, and reaching the semifinals at his home club where he grew up playing as a kid. I mean, it was a fairy tale week for sure and fun to watch. But it's interesting you brought up the girlfriend as well, because I did a quick interview with Vacherot in Indian Wells, and you mentioned his sort of physical attributes. His like hips are chest level on me. He's like all legs, super tall, very strong. So he's sort of has the physical build that would be helpful to begin with. But I mentioned his girlfriend, and he goes, I mean, literally, she thinks I can win any match that I play. If I were to play Alcaraz tomorrow, she's like, I've got this, no problem. How helpful is it to have? Did you have somebody in your life who was your biggest supporter? Yes. Who was it for you?
My dad, without a doubt, was that person. And it's sometimes before you believe it, like it's really great to hear it from other people, because we are also our worst like critics, right? Like we do think negative, and we like when I used to watch my opponents practice or anybody, right? Like I was like, man, they're so good. Like, and then I would play against them, and I would be like 2-2. I was like, oh, like, but like there's some people who do the opposite, who think they can win everything. And then, that doesn't happen either. So it's about finding that balance between being confident, and then having the experience too, and learn from that. But my dad was definitely the person, who was like, my mom was just always very like not good or not bad, like just even keel throughout it all, which was great as well, right? Like where you wouldn't get affected by that. But my dad was the one that's like, yeah, you can beat anybody, like, like to believe it. And so I think he believed that even before I did in myself.
That's pretty cool. Well, let's move on to our guest question of the week. I am so excited about this. Again, it's a Belgian theme throughout. Sean, can we roll our guest question?
Hey, Blair and Kim. Thanks for having me in your podcast, and that I could ask a question to Kim. So Kim, here we go. How do you become so big when you grow up in a small village in Belgium, in the sense of the culture that we have, being very humble, a lot of respect, and then to winnings, multiple Grand Slams, becoming world number one, etc. I feel like this is something that I struggle with still today, even though I realize it. Still something deep inside I feel like holds me back.
Wow. Oh my
Zizou
God.
getting deep on us.
Yes, I'm like, let's have lunch and talk.
So for those who don't know, real quick before you answer, that was, of course, Zizou Bergs, who is not only playing incredible tennis, but has won many hearts and fans just for being a great personality, whether it's on social media or on the court. So, all right, take it away, Kim. I'm so interested to hear your answer.
Well, I hope I can fill in the answer to your expectation. I was, I don't know, thinking about this, and I am from a very small town, and where, but at the same time, like tennis was my world, right? Like it's what I love doing. And from a very young age in tennis, you get to experience different cultures, and you travel with players and from different countries and different backgrounds. And so I always loved that part about the sport just as much as I loved going home and riding my bike or my rollerblades through the town and going to, my whatever, the neighbors around the street and going to their dogs and whatever it was. Like that normalcy was also really important to me. I do think the tennis world now, and I think about it a lot when I see, some of the parties that are being hosted, the social media, like there's a lot more for a guy like Zizou that is expected. I didn't do any of that. I was like, I'm doing tennis when I'm home in my, in the hotel room, that's it. I'll do some stretching. I was trying to learn more about meditation, whatever it was. But it was I'm not doing any of the other things. And that's kind of how my mindset always was, where I see like that there's a lot more expected from younger players, and players want to have a social media following and be original there. And that's great that is possible these days as well, that you can show off other parts of your personality than besides just the tennis player part. But to me, like, I think overall in general, my mindset was like, I'm a citizen of the world, like, and wherever I go, like, I enjoy getting to know the culture and the different foods and experience the people. And so, yeah, but home will always be home. Like, I'm a Belgian living in New Jersey. Like, I'm from Brie. Like, that's the mindset that I have. And I like that. Like, but there's times like during my career, like, I love just as much stepping out on a night session at Arthur Ashe Stadium and absorb that energy as well. So to me, it's like it's not like you're one or the other. Like, I do believe that you can be both, but at different times. And, but I think the biggest thing for me was that I did not have those, what I call distractions. To some people, they may be a must to not get too focused on tennis or not get to feel the pressure too much. But to me, like, I really enjoyed kind of just having my alone time and my downtime without all the other distractions.
So a follow-up on that. And I did think that this was an interesting question coming from Zizou, who he says he's an introvert, but boy, does he present as an extrovert. He is a showman sort of in every sense of the word. He gives a lot of himself to others. He's so friendly, so polite, and he doesn't have to know you to be friendly and polite. And that is probably sets him apart from a lot of other players behind the scenes. He's very giving in that way. But I did think it was interesting sort of thinking of coming from a place where humility is so valued, and then potentially having to, I think back to that Serena clip where she's like, I'm not saying I think I'm better than everybody else, but you sort of have to have the belief that you're better than everybody else.
Right.
And how do you balance those two?
So I think for me, finding that balance, or when I felt like I was a little bit more under control with it, was when I learned to say no. I was also somebody that, there were plenty of times where some of the higher ranked players were supposed to do a sponsor visit, canceled last second. And it was like, oh, let's call Kim. She'll do it, and I was like, okay, I'll do that. Like, knowing that it wasn't always in my best interest, because it would be better for me to be, resting in the room with my legs up and because I had to play a big game the next day. So learning to say no became so valuable, and you can't have it all at once, right? Like, you can't, yes, did I go to watch an NBA game? And yes, I did that. But I never went out to party unless the tournament was finished or I had a longer break or, those kind of things. Like, to me, it's one or the other. And, but again, there's a lot more distractions. And if you see like everything that's been added onto the tennis world and other athletes come and watch the game, like, you have a lot more of that these days than it was when I was younger. And then, but it's definitely it's a process that you grow into, right? The ability to say no, to learn what is important for you as well, and to be able to say to some people who are also important, whether it's sponsors or agencies or whatever, to say like, listen, like, not today. Like, I really need my time and I'm actually a little tired. Like, it's important to learn to express that, and maybe being from a smaller town and feeling that responsibility to be there for the people, and to, like, in Belgium, people called me like our Kim, like I was onze Kim, like that's, but it's also like, you also feel like you always have to be available. Which is obviously different since I live here.
So one more follow-up. So when you went to play a Grand Slam final, did you walk out there feeling like I'm the best and I should win?
Nope.
You did not.
Nope, not
so
at all.
That's not necessary, because I do think that was maybe part of his question, is sort of like being able to own the moment mentally, even though you're so used to sort of deferring in some ways.
Right, but I also didn't think I couldn't win.
Okay,
you know
so you thought you could, but you didn't walk out there thinking,
it wasn't like I need to win this match. No, like I but it was also not like, oh, like I'm going to lose this match. There were a few matches where I felt that way. That was when I lost to Justine in a couple of the finals of the Grand Slams. Like, I know now that I already lost before I even stepped out on the court. But, you know, I mean, it's the ability to kind of just take it as it comes, I think. And to know, like, my mindset was every match starts 0-0 and you have a 50% chance. Like, that's what I always told myself. Also, when you get to the situation, and we've seen Serena talk about it, like Alcaraz now too, talk about when you play, you know, a lot of like lower ranked players, which they play most of the time, right? When you're number one in the world, everybody can have their best match of the year when they play against you. And so to not get caught off guard early in the tournament, that 50-50 kind of mindset is like, I want to be ready from the start of the match, of the set, of the tournament, as if it's a Grand Slam final. And that's kind of the mindset that can be tiring to always have, but that's kind of how I just approached it. And I didn't look at myself as, oh, I'm from a small town or anything. I was, you know, just learning just as much as all the other players. Like it's yeah, but experiences are fun. But yeah, Zizou, if you want to have a chat about this a little bit more, he has my number. He can, or my whatever social media. Yeah. He can reach out and we can have a conversation about it, so I can pick his brain on it a little bit more as well.
I love it. I would support it, and I would lobby to sit in a chair like a few feet back so I could also listen in like a total creeper. but I did think that was
very interesting question. Yeah, it's never been asked. Never been asked to me.
There you go. I am not surprised that one of the most unique players on tour asked the question. That I certainly had never heard that question asked to anyone else either. So thank you so much, Zizou. We appreciate it. And he had a solid run in Monte Carlo as well. He had Jannik Sinner doing, you know, did you see the handshake?
Yes. That's from our soccer players. They do that.
I gathered that after the fact.
Lukaku and Kevin De Bruyne did that during one of our biggest, their combination. The goal that they had was incredible. And, but really cool to see. Yeah.
Well, Kim, that was such a fun conversation, both with Hanne, Zizou. I could ask you questions all day long, and sometimes I do in the form of 10-minute voice notes.
Yeah. And I do them right back at you.
Which I love so much. But thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Love All. We've got new episodes every Wednesday for you. Make sure you like and subscribe to Love All on YouTube and follow us at Love All Podcast on all of our socials. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Blair.